ask me. Ask Iliza anything. It's time to ask. Ask me all your questions.
I need to make an announcement, Iliza.
Oh, okay.
So that I can,
all right.
so that we can stop hearing about it. Everybody has reached out through every method possible telling us foxgloves are dangerous.
So
We've gotten
I woke up this morning
thousands of messages
to a text message from you.
Yeah.
And apparently it's like really bad for your heart. And there's actually a heart medicine called digoxin, which I don't take heart medicine, but it's a medication used to treat heart conditions derived from the leaves of the foxglove plant, specifically Digitalis lanata. And it's just funny to me that like, because they name it for the thing it takes from the plant. So in a weird way, your pharmaceutical, like your big pharmaceutical company is plant-based medicine.
Yeah, I want to say, I don't want to sound like we were mad about all the news. I appreciate each and every person who said, hey, we want to keep your family safe. I just wanted to let you all know we're all alive.
She brought in a stalk of it. I was holding it. I was putting the foxglove on my fingers.
Yeah, you were holding up the camera.
What did you get for me?
Foxgloves.
You got foxgloves for me?
Aren't those prickly?
Oh my God.
Oh, those are nice.
These are like weeds. Like these just grow all over the Pacific Northwest.
Really?
And they grow out of concrete. They're called foxgloves. And I think the idea of like a little fox putting on his little purple gloves to go to the ball is very cute. Zero idea. And the kicker is for the last 3 days, my stomach has been hurting so badly that I've started Googling like stomach cancer symptoms. Like it's been awful.
Yeah.
And I don't think it's from the foxgloves. And I'm starting to feel better. But like, anyways, disaster averted.
Disaster averted. Yeah. I guess
everywhere.
You don't really think about it. I know I have to Google plants because cats eat plants and everything's poisonous cats. But you have a dog and a kid. You're not thinking about like, besides poison ivy.
I feel like it's more big dogs that like get in there and like eat your roses. Like Tianfu is, she won't even take a milk bone. So,
right.
But good to know because these things grow, they're weeds. And they grow rampantly everywhere. And it was the first text I woke up to this morning. Was you like, warning, foxglove? And it was helpful because I definitely would have like touched them, cut them down, put them in someone's room. So good to know.
Licked one. Yeah. Good to know.
Look on that foxglove. Anyways, so nature update and alert. Good to know. Thank you so much. I was going to start by saying I'm going to Nantucket tomorrow.
Okay. So this comes out before July 4th weekend. So you're having a pre-July 4th jaunt.
I am going. My jaunt is to the Nantucket Film Festival where I was invited to be on a panel.
Ooh.
Curated by and moderated by Ben Stiller. Yeah.
Oh.
And there's a couple of other comedy people on there. And it's one of those invites as I say, someone in the public eye that like, though, like this is what you want. Like, hey, we'll fly you and a guest. You'll stay at a nice hotel. Here's a free thing. Here's a shuttle. You don't have to work. Like you can just go to the film festival. Like, I'm like, this is what I want. This is the whole point. It used to be to make art. And I'm like, now, no, it's just to like be flown to nice places and like mildly participate in something and try to make Ben Stiller my best friend.
This is so fun. Oh my gosh.
We're staying at the White Elephant, which is, I think it's a Relais Chateau, but it's really lovely. But I would have been fine wherever. I've never been in Nantucket. I've been to Martha's Vineyard. And we're not going to be there for that long because I hate to leave my children. But it's so cool to get to go, to be invited to be on a panel and like not have to sing for your supper and do stand up.
Can I tell you something we're going to cut out? They have your name misspelled on the website, so tell someone.
Will you... Do you
want me to tell someone? Do you want me to email this link to
Can you just send
Danielle?
it to me? Just send it to me right now and I'll send it to my team.
That my eyes never stop scanning, that every time, Iliza, you are named in anything for the rest of your life, I will read that article and I will immediately jump to your name to see if it is spelled correctly.
I appreciate that because you're also wounded by it, as am I. But I was thinking about it this morning because I was looking through some pictures on my phone and I have a screen grab of some website where my name was misspelled for an article that was about me. It is annoying that there's no C. It would be like if your last name was Johansson and it secretly had like only one S and you're like, but it's supposed to have two. Like,
right.
Doesn't it? Doesn't Johansson have two? It would just be like if your name was McDougal and you were like, oh, it's actually MacDougal, not McDougal. Like it's the thing where it's like, I'm the only one that does it this way, and I get it, but also like spell check. The internet, you have the power of all the information in the world in the palm of your hand. And speaking of computers, I was catching a ferry last night, and the fares were running behind. So I had like an hour to kill in my car, and it's the end of the day. So you've already seen all the bad news about how much the world hates Jews, and you've already read everything. You've checked every email. There's no one to talk to. I took Instagram off my phone because it's making me sad. And I'm like, well, what can I do? I'm not going to meditate. And I was just like, what's ChatGPT all about?
Oh,
like,
no.
I've used it like once or twice, but
It's wastewater.
Yeah,
Don't tell people you're using it.
I know that AI use water-based cooling systems, but what I'm looking for, what I want to know is the cooling system that they use. Is the water kept in a reserve, and once it's cooled, it's sent back into the machinery? Like, what I'm missing is the part where it's like, and then the water evaporates. If it's a cooling system, does that water then cool down and it's recycled through? I need the info. So let's pretend for a second that me looking up one thing on ChatGPT didn't ruin the world.
Okay.
And like an idiot, I ChatGPT'd myself. And I was like, ChatGPT, write me like an hour of Iliza Schlesinger comedy. And I'm just going to read to you what the intro was.
Oh, no. Okay.
Are you ready?
Yeah.
Iliza Schlesinger, adulthood is a scam.
Yeah.
So now keep in mind what it does is it scans every single thing you've ever said and compares it to the internet. So I have definitely called things a scam. So, okay. But anyways, this is the stage direction. Lights up. Iliza struts onto the stage in a bomber jacket, tight jeans, and heels. Crowd cheers. She salutes, makes a velociraptor noise, and then takes the mic. And I was like, you got it. There's no need for humans anymore. You nailed it.
Not enough on the pants, though. Just tight jeans and a bomber jacket.
Well, it said bomber jacket because of elder millennial.
Okay.
But the fact that it was like before anything else, she makes a velociraptor noise.
Yeah.
Which it was just very funny. And then I thought it was interesting because I was reading some of the jokes, and it goes into weddings. Like, it covers topics I've covered, but I was noticing the language it used, and it used very borderline hacky, buzzy comedian things, like things that weren't unfunny. Like, it described a wedding dress as weighing as much as a toddler, which is funny, but the word toddler is what's funny, and that gets used a lot. Like, there's certain, like, one was like, why? So you can spend a bunch of money so your drunk uncle can yell at a DJ? And I was like, drunk uncle. Like, there's certain comedy things. Everyone talks about a drunk aunt or an alcoholic, or there's just like, so we do still need humans because the internet is hacky as fuck. And even as I say as fuck, I feel hacky. But that's why we need original thought, because the comedy that it wrote was totally fine. But if I saw a comic do it, I'd be like, this is so boring.
Right. I'm worried. I think we already have people that have such poor ability to research things. The way that ChatGPT talks is, it really talks you up. It really acts like your friend, and it really like regurgitates things back to you, but also is like very much behind it. Like, if you're like, ChatGPT, help me build a business where I sell bags of shit, it would be like, yes, bestie. Okay, we're cornering the market. Da da da. It never tells you.
It would say that to you. It would never call like my dad. It's bestie.
No,
like,
it doesn't say bestie to me. But yes, it picks up your way of speaking, and then it tells you what it thinks you want to hear, and it just is it's no new thoughts.
And I see the little link to all of its like information. It's just like, and I got this from here, and here's why it's still not trustworthy. I said, what kind of a dog is Iliza Schlesinger's dog Tianfu? And it very confidently told me she was a Pomeranian. And I was like, and that is why people should not trust computers. Because she's not.
No, of course not. She's a Chinese mountain dog.
But it's just scary because village dog, excuse me. It's scary because so many people, so I was talking to a friend of mine, and she's like, I talk to Claude all the time, which is another AI who's kind of like a therapist to her. And I'm like, we're all going to live in her. And it's just scary because people of lesser intelligence are glomming onto these things as if it's like a real heartbeat, and you forget what rain on your skin feels like and the warm embrace, if ever, of another person. So
people are developing relationships with them, like full on, like a guy proposed, like it's a problem.
I understand using it for like personal assistant stuff. I would endorse that. I would endorse anything that actually makes your life easier, but I don't endorse things that live your life for you.
It's tough. We need like AI literacy courses, because I could totally see, imagine you're a 14-year-old girl who's not that popular, and this AI is telling you what, and it's a guy and it's being nice to you, and it's really no different than having like an online, like somebody you talk to in games. Like it's just,
but it's like, we have to, now that we know the pitfalls of the internet, now that we know better, we have to educate our kids. Like my mom does not know what an AM chat room is. And for sure, nobody knew when we were like 14 and going in there and like talking to people, because it was such unnavigated territory. It would be like me trying to educate my child on like landing on the moon. Like I have no frame of reference for it, but now we know. Now we know the internet is forever. Now we know how awful people are. So now we should begin to pull back, knowing it's kind of like The Village. Like I almost want to scare, like you want to just like keep them close and scare them. Anyway, that's what I did to, there's also a game on, so I played Wordle, right? Mm-hmm. Which I'm like, embarrassingly like not great at. And then there's another game that rides the tailcoats of Wordle called Worldle, where they send you the outline of a country and you have to guess the country. Hold on, that's my dog clawing at the door. Excuse me. For anybody watching at home, does this look like a Pomeranian? Do you know how much people pay for Pomeranian features? And this dog's got like a full snout and a big body.
Big body.
Big body moving.
Big rectangle body.
She's just a neck.
Yeah.
Tianfu's just a thick, strong neck. Anyways, Worldle. And I actually think it's a lot of fun. And so they show you the outline of a country. You have to guess what country it is. And then if you guess it, you can move on to facts about the country, which is cool until it was like, what's Japan's #1 export? And then all the options, it was like seed oils, woods, produce. You're just like, who fucking cares? It gave me like an option of 50 answers. And I'm like, I don't know.
Yeah.
American denim. Our vintage clothing.
I just play the New York connections.
Okay, let's move on.
Okay. We have a question that came in, and the subject made me laugh. Latina's question, please read it for DEI purposes, LOL. The question has nothing to do with anything, but you know what? Take every leg up you can get.
Take every tax credit I can get.
Hi, Emily, Iliza, and Pod fam. My husband introduced me to Iliza a few years ago, but I only found the podcast this spring, and I've been listening to 3+ episodes daily to catch up. I even had dreams with Rizzoli. Emily, keep giving us cat content.
What happened this spring? We're like, you know what? I'm going to turn it on. I'm going to finally submit to my king and listen to this comedian. My king.
Ew. I would love to hear your take on a mother-daughter relationship. I do have a fantastic therapist, but sometimes I feel like she is giving me white girl advice, and I am a Latina. So that is why I'm coming to another 2 white ladies to see what your thoughts are.
Well, I live in LA, so it's different.
My mom is 60 years old. My entire life, she was always saying how everybody didn't like her or hurt her, which made me hate all of her siblings and my dad's family and even my dad. As an adult, I've realized that most times she was making things up and trying to get her children to side with her. My dad is not great, but not as bad as she made him to be. He cheated on her, but she knew and stayed with him for over 15 years of constant cheating with the same person whom he is now dating. Supposedly, this
not
was
even
to protect
married
us. To? I know, right? He didn't marry him.
Whatever, Dad.
Her. So supposedly protect us, the 8 children.
That's why she stayed with him.
I mean, right.
8 kids.
About 3 to 4 years ago, my parents finally separated. This has been difficult for my mom, and she started being more manipulative towards all her children, but mostly me, the youngest of 8. I am currently 25. I moved to another country in Central America when I was 15 to go to college and visited home twice a year. Moved to the U.S. when I was 19 to do a master's and now PhD. Yeah. Since I'm in the U.S., I can only visit my parents once a year or every couple of years. Here are some of the things that mom has done to me since the separation with dad. I finally told her I had been molested as a child in our home from 4 to 10 years of age by one of our farm workers. When she and my dad separated, she told my dad, aunts, and my 7 siblings about the abuse behind my back. I feel like this was for me to share or not share, but she used it to blame my dad for not protecting me and make her case about what a piece of crap he is. Ugh. Whenever I post a photo, sometimes I'm having a wonderful day and she replies things like, "You look so sad. I can see inside you. You are broken." WTF. Completely
Especially
ruins
in
my
Spanish.
day.
It's even more heartbreaking.
Triste.
Good job, Emily. Fucking good job. You did it. You bridged the gap.
I did it as one of the white ladies. I am graduating from my PhD at age 26 and already have a job lined up. I have a master's. I don't share my personal life with her because she always lets me down. But one day I told her I'm graduating this year and I already have a job. She said, "Finally, you are going to do something good with your life." I have a wonderful husband. He's my biggest support, and his family has shown me what a family can look like. He proposed to me one day before we were traveling to visit my parents so that I could share that with them and celebrate it. When we told my parents, Mom said, "Nice." No congratulations, no questions about wedding plans. Jesus. I left with my dad during that trip. My mom got mad. I talked to him. She didn't even say goodbye to me and my fiance, now husband, when we were heading to the airport. She closed the door in my fiance's face. Finally, my mom has told me in the past couple of years her children don't love her. She always plays the victim. She said she's going to kill herself. She will kill my brother with cerebral palsy with her so he doesn't suffer without her. She always says things like this, and it gives me anxiety. When she just separated from dad, she would call me multiple times a day complaining about him, saying how she was going to physically hurt him.
Just you?
Just you.
Doesn't call the other brothers and sisters?
No, because she's the youngest. So I think she's getting the brunt of it. I ended up in the ER having bad panic attacks. I fainted when I saw she was calling me. I was so scared of what she might do. I hate that my body is so affected by my interactions with my mom, but I can't control it. My husband and lots of doctors helped me get better. And since I've had to limit interactions with my mom, I call her every couple of weeks to know how she is, tell her I love her, check to make sure she has money, meds, and food, that's it. Foodstuffs. But whenever she sends me a creepy message or leaves a weird comment on my social, I always have nightmares about her. Yeah. My nightmares are things like her trying to kill me, her telling strangers about the abuse, her killing other people, and me having to deal with it. I know I have bad PTSD. I've made so much progress, but I still don't feel like I'm convinced that I'm doing the right thing by keeping her at arm's length. I love her and always longed for a good relationship. When I look back, I see she's always been manipulative and abusive, but it was never obvious until I left the house and she's gotten worse. I do not know why she does all this to me when she has 7 other older children. Most of my siblings don't talk to me because they are mad that I am away from the house and not taking care of mom, because I guess that's the responsibility of the younger kid in their opinion. But
says who? Like,
I know.
What Latin
Shouldn't
law
it be the
is that?
oldest kid? But I have the right to have a life. I'm in another country. There are 5 siblings that live within 5 miles of her. I don't know whether I'm doing the right thing by limiting contact with her.
Your family sucks.
I know. I always feel bad when people ask me about my parents or how much I miss them, because I don't. You can call me V.
First of all, V. Though I don't understand the whiteness of the advice thing. Why is your therapist like, just sit down and have a talk? Because that would suggest that a Latin person is incapable of that, which I don't get.
I think there are different cultural obligations.
But hold on. Yeah, but you're asking me, and for all intents and purposes, I'm white unless you've decided unless you've decided I'm Jewish, in which case now all of a sudden I'm something different. I'm not Latin. So, and also to be like, well, you guys should just scream at each other because Latin people are passionate. The whole thing is just silly. And I think regardless of culture, you are living in America and you are an educated woman and you are now someone's wife and you have the mental wherewithal to know that this is fucked up versus living in a relationship where this is normal. Like, you know that this is abnormal. Your siblings are assholes. And I don't know why all of this is falling on the youngest person. And I don't know if they know that you were molested. Like, why would they ever put anything on you? The whole thing is so messed up, and you are doing so much to make your life so bright and beautiful. I think you stand to lose nothing by at least getting it out and saying to your mom, like, why this is so messed up. What I'm not hearing is you expressing yourself, which is odd because you are Latin.
I understand the guilt that you're feeling, but if you want 2 more people to probably add to your therapist, hopefully she's saying the same thing, to all say, you owe your mother nothing. We are here to do it. You owe her nothing. You have built
nothing.
At 25, you're graduating. You already have your job lined up. You have a supportive husband who treats you wonderfully. You have a master's.
You left your home country to do it, which is always scary.
You did it on your own.
None of your siblings, I guarantee you, first of all, your siblings are jealous of you. They're jealous. None of them have what you have. And the truth is, it's lonely at the top. And I think it's only once your mother is gone that you can even begin to repair any relationship, should you even want it, with these siblings. You are allowed to have that relationship with your father because you were not married to your father. You can have a dad. And I do think you see that, like, you're like, my dad wasn't perfect. You're like, but he's still my dad. What your dad did to your mom does not have to fully impact the relationship that you have with him. Kids are close to their dads all the time who cheat on the mom, you know? This is also mired because your mom has a chemical imbalance. Your mom is awful for whatever reasons. I'm sure she was dealt a shitty hand and she creates more and more chaos rather than rising above it, rather than fine, you know, your father broke my heart, and she wants to drag you down with her, and she sees you as the weakest because you were molested, and she sees you as the weakest because you're the youngest. So maybe you need to block her for a little bit. You shouldn't feel bad about any of this because your mom always brings you down. Now, you love her, and that is normal. But what needs to happen is you need to get crystal clear about, I hate the word boundaries, but like about your boundaries. Mom, don't leave comments like that. You always tell me I'm sad. And if you're going to act like this, I do not want to talk to you.
I've got a hot tip for that part. There is a function on Instagram where you can hide a person's comments. They will not know that their comments are being hidden.
And you'll never see them.
You will not see it. You will simply see on your post something like, click here to read hidden comments. Do that, and then you will not get that alert that sends your heart into your throat. Hide her. Don't block her, and she will never know she's hidden.
What you need to do, and you need to talk to your therapist about this, is remove the power. And I don't know how you do that. I don't know if it's confronting her verbally or writing to her. It might just be standing up for yourself. And you're going to cry and you're going to tremble because this is what our parents bring out in us. But what needs to start happening is you need to apply some of the strength that you've shown. And you know what? You probably are all of these wonderful things because you were propelled forward by all of this pain. So that's so great. But you need to start applying some of the strength that you've applied to your degree and your job and all these wonderful things to these interpersonal relationships. And it might be taking a break. And it might also be telling your siblings to grow the fuck up.
Yeah, the fact that they have a problem with you because you are not running to be at your mother's beck and call, you have built a beautiful life without them.
Talk to your therapist about that. And if you think that that's too white, then I don't know. I guess you could like throw mud at each other. I don't know. I don't get that. But you need to express yourself because this sounds like you just internalizing a lot of this. What's going to happen? First of all, your mom's not going to kill herself. And if she really is, then like you need to call a medical professional. She's not going to, even if she did, by the way, even if she did and she killed your brother, like that is not on you because she does this for attention. Your mom has, and I'm not a doctor, probably some sort of chemical imbalance, narcissistic personality, bipolar, armchair psychology, whatever the internet says thing, but she's not normal. And I think once you recontextualize the fact that there's something, she's a broken child, then her threats probably won't feel as pointed.
Right.
But that is definitely above my pay grade, but you need to start standing up for yourself.
Yeah. Good luck out there. Let's do another daughter.
Buena suerte.
There you go. So we have another daughter. Am I a bad daughter? Hey, podcast crew.
Probably.
I am so grateful in advance for you guys reading this and helping me. I cringe as I type this and have centuries of Jewish guilt coursing through my veins, but here goes. I have a very sensitive question. I have only just learned that my parents have been living outside their means for years. And since my father passed away almost 15 years ago, it hasn't changed my mom's behavior. Now she's realizing that she needs help, but I'm sort of angry. Is that the right word? With both of them for not playing the long game. I live within my means in New York City with my 2 kids, save for their college at our retirement, mine and my husband's, not my kids, LOL. I love my mom and want to help, but I can't afford to support her current lifestyle, and I want to be able to retire like I have planned and save forward, give my kids their college tuition without loans. I don't want to burden my kids by spending all this money on my mom. My husband and I work super hard I don't want to lose the time in my life when I'm in my 40s, healthy, not be able to travel with my kids, do all the fun stuff. That being said, how much should I help? I have a sibling who has no money and is a free spirit, who has historically never been expected to help out ever. This literally sounds like the fable of the grasshopper and the ant. I realize that.
Yeah.
But I guess it's a common story for a reason. I feel awful and very guilty, but there has to be a line. I want to know what you do. My mom is a very healthy 70-something. Help, sincerely, guilt-ridden firstborn daughter. So they didn't make it clear what the mother is asking for. It sounds like if they're saying the sister is never expected to help, it sounds like the flip of that is that they are. So mom has been living outside her means.
Where do your duties end as the daughter? Where do they begin? And I think that there is no true answer to that. You know, you look at some cultures, the parents live with the kids, you know. Everybody lives in one house. You take care of your parents endlessly, like in Japanese culture. And what you're really saying is you had all the time to plan for this. And rather than do that, and you know what? I don't think it was malicious. I think you get accustomed to a certain lifestyle, whatever that may be. And especially after your husband passes away and you're just like, well, I'm not used to doing it any other way. Some people, that's a hard thing to do. And this isn't about being wealthy. This is about like, I'm just used to certain things and I don't know how to do it the other way. I think you have to have a serious, forget the sibling. I mean, that's great if they can like run to the grocery store for your mom or something, but like, I think you have to have a serious come to Jesus with a financial planner.
Yes.
Because your mom has, I don't know if you're gonna have Medicare for that long, but your mom has Social Security. She probably has some sort of retirement. Maybe your dad had some sort of pension or something. You need to sit down with someone who will say, this is what you have. And this is like, if you want to live the next 15 years, here's what you have. Here's what we can get with like compounded interest. And it might even be that you're in charge of the finances and your mom gets like a debit card or something. You might need to step in to be the executor of all of that. But you need to have, I think what your mother has never had, also because she's a woman of a certain generation, which is no excuses. My mom totally gets finances. She probably never had anyone talk to her about this stuff. And she probably doesn't grasp it in the way that you do as someone that's made all of your money. You know, financial literacy is a problem, especially for women. And it might be sitting down with someone to be like, here is the black and white of it. You will be out of money and I cannot take you in, but I can help you in these ways.
I think that's all you can do because maybe she has property that you need to rent out or sell now. Maybe like you need the financial advisor is the key. You need to sit down with someone who knows everything available to her as a woman in her 70s.
Or her lawyer. But you need to sit down with her and she has to be there. This can't be something that you like run by. Like she needs to see how serious this is.
Yeah. Make a budget. Yeah. So. You don't owe her your children's financial future.
No, that's right. And you can say to her like, Mom, you're going to have to be living in like a commune or like a shitty apartment somewhere if you keep spending like this. Like I cannot help you. Yeah. And it might actually have to be you saying that snaps her out of it. Maybe when she sees the numbers and she sees the money running out, you know? And it's tough, you know, because she probably wants to buy your kids presents and wants to take them places. And so it's just going to have to be a real come to Jesus. I don't know. Money is something that some people, some families, some cultures, like people don't talk about. You should always talk about it. I don't care if it's, I mean, you don't need to go around talking about how much money you make, but it is this thing that is designed as a barrier so that you never know what's going on. It's seen as a dirty thing. It's the whole reason people think Jews are dirty is because Jews always handled the money back in like ancient Greece because it was seen as like ungodly for like Christians to handle money. So Jews were like, we'll do it. And now like we're the dirty ones. So I'm just saying if you went ahead and brought up the thing about Jewish guilt, you need to wrap your mind around your financial situation because people already think you're Jewish. So you may as well be good at it. I'm just saying.
Okay. So you don't want to do confessions anymore?
I don't like them. And I'm telling it to our audience. It's not what I had in mind when I designed it.
Okay, do you want a pet song?
Yep.
Okay, so I'm going to send it to you, and you have to play it.
Okay.
Animal songs, your mouth is so small. Animal songs, I give it my all. Squeeze your body, I give you a kiss. Animal songs, this time I won't miss.
This is a song I wrote for my tiny cat, Pippa, who is 7 pounds and extremely fluffy. And I wrote this song when I was deeply immersed in reading memoirs of a geisha.
Wait, is 7 pounds a lot for a cat?
It's a little.
Oh my God, the little cat.
She's a geisha girl, geisha girl. She's a geisha girl, geisha girl. Tiny nose, I found it. Tiny mouth, I found it. Tiny feet, I find them.
Fine.
She's a geisha girl, geisha girl.
Tiny feet, I find them. I like that part. I like how you changed it from it to them. I mean, it's better than my smash hit Robert Pontoon when you're making fried spoons that I sing to my cat. My dog.
I just was excited that there was a cat one.
Yeah.
Usually people sing to their dogs. I just sing like, I'll rub Isle's belly and just go, na 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 na. Like that's not a song. I'm just like doing a sound.
Are you clothed while you do it?
Yes, she's not. And her belly's like too pink.
I think it's tough because animal songs are like looking at pictures of people's kids. You're like, amazing. And they're just like, isn't this the best? You're like, I guess. I don't know.
But at one of our live shows, I believe one that is up, when we had an audience member sing an animal song live and she was almost crying from the joy it brought her.
Yes.
Like the joy, like this is something that's so personal and private and makes sense to no one else.
And, you know, it's a release. Like when I clench my jaw and I sing to Tian Fu, like it's something that makes me feel good. Robert Brazier. Like it just feels, it feels good. And I'm worried that I do it so much that someone's going to hear it when I'm calling her horse fear. Horse fear. They're gonna be like, "What was that?" And we're like, "I'm in charge of 2 lives."
The one mistake I made is that it's hard to give my 2 nicknames. Like Rizzoli and Isles, there aren't a lot of nicknames.
Look, you named your cats something stupid. I'm sorry. You named it Rizzoli. Like you gave it a real name.
Yeah,
it's like
love
how
that.
people in New Zealand name their dogs real names. Like the dogs down there aren't named Fluffy and like Crackers. They're named like Robert and like Gerald. Isles. Like, what is that? You know what? Michelle had a cat named Niles after Frasier when we were kids. So I guess Isles is fine.
Of course. Okay. Back to questions. That was our fan break. Dear Liza and AIA crew, and then in parentheses, Emily. I am in need of some very big clarification and consolation and a head check. Age gap relationships. We're not talking about a few years apart or a decade apart. We're talking dating someone you could have birthed because of how young your partner is, or the fact they could be best friends with your parents because of how old your partner is. I am needing clarification. Why? Whenever someone dates a younger woman or an older woman, the excuse is always that they are more mature. The excuse is that she is such an old soul or she's so mature if she's younger, right? That's common either way. Some of this comes from the reality that I am now a 46-year-old woman. I found myself in a situationship with a 38-year-old man. Found out at the same time he was pursuing someone 18 years younger than him, who lives in a totally different country from us and was giving me the BS excuse of, and I quote, she is so mature. Now, okay, that 38-year-old man, 20-year-old woman saying she's so mature.
But
yeah.
Before we go any further, you're in a relationship with a man. You
Situationship.
Catch him, fine. You catch him, quote unquote, cheating. It's a situationship.
I don't think it's cheating.
Fine. Well, you had some understanding, and the fact that he was talking to another girl, and rather than be like, no, I wasn't, he was like, well, she's mature, means that he doesn't respect you. You guys are not in even a hint of a relationship. It's just you probably sending him nude pics.
Well, so this is the situation that has caused this question asker to be like, what is the deal with our age gap relationships? How do we process them as women? She says, most of the time, I don't think I have a problem, but mostly men. And
what is this? You sound like Christopher Walken.
Me off.
Mostly men. All right, fine. I'll just let you go and ruin the show. Go ahead.
It's usually an older person, a younger woman, and the younger woman was met prior to being legal, but nothing official happened until she turned 18. Yes. I mean, we could talk about that all day. So our question asker says, maybe I'm getting judgmental in my old age or the fact that I was effed over. Yes, you do only care because it is happening to you.
Yeah.
Thank you for your insight. Loved you earlier this year when you were performing in Atlanta. Your stand-up is getting me through my 20s, 30s, and 40s. Have you been performing that long?
Yeah. She's probably in her early 40s. She's 42, 46?
She's 46.
And how old is he? 30?
38.
Okay, so first of all, 38 and 46, unless you're trying to have children, is not really an age gap.
No, that's not the age gap.
Really a big deal. What happens is you found someone you thought was hot. You probably sent him naked pictures. And it turns out he was just like down for whatever he wanted to do, but he was talking to someone underage in another country. You should not be talking to this person. I don't even know your question. But what I do know is that you were settling for someone probably because they were attractive and you probably feel a certain type of way about yourself. Maybe you don't feel you're attractive. And on some level, you felt you deserved this. And you were willing to be in a situationship knowing it wasn't a real relationship. And then when he did what one would do in a situationship, you got upset and you were double hurt because she was twice less than your age. So scan for men better.
Right. Yeah, I mean, I agree.
Because you wouldn't feel better if she was 28.
No.
You'd still be hurt.
No. But if you want us to just discuss age gap relationships, I would say, yes, the thing you flagged is the one problem I have with it, which is anytime someone says, oh, well, they're 18. Okay, you did not start talking on their 18th birthday, but sure. Do you know what I mean? Like, okay, some comedians, men comedians, meeting 18. No, I'm talking about Dane Cook.
No, I don't know. So that's it. I think that there is something really exciting and cool, and I make sense that an older woman would date a younger man because of like energy levels and sex drive and stuff like that. But the reason people tend to date people their own age is because you have a social context for stuff. Like I'm still pretty sure Noah grew up in like a Russian sleeper cell camp because he didn't consume any pop culture the way that I did. He was busy reading like Hemingway when he was a kid, snore. But we both remember like things that you think don't matter, but like that's why people tend to marry people from the same place, from the same background, from the same religion, the same culture, because you have this contextualized existence that you can share. You know where each other are coming from, and you don't have that when your spouse or your significant other is 15 years younger or older, you know? And so it doesn't matter how people explain it away. If it works for you, great. But what is never going to work is finding out, even if that guy turned out to be someone that like wanted to marry you, he was talking to a child. So that's gross. And I do think it is a major red flag personality flaw. It's okay to be attracted to younger women. Scientifically, I understand why. But when you are a grown man and you're talking to like a 22-year-old girl, like that's a baby. Like I get that she's legal. Like if we want to get into like legalities of things.
Sure, it's fine.
Sure, you're not going to go to jail, but as
I don't want to hang out with you.
I don't think men care, but if you knew how unattractive women found it that you're attracted to women that young. Like it's weird, actually.
Yeah.
So, and it's weird because as a woman, you can't say that without sounding like you're bitter or jealous or something. I'm like, I'm not. I just know at that age, like when I was 22, like how unaware I was.
Right. Well, I wouldn't like it the other way around. Let's say it's a 50-year-old woman and a 20-year-old man. My assumption of the woman is, could you not find things to talk about with men your own age? Like,
and the answer is it's not about talking, and it never is. And that's all there is to it. And that's why they say she's an old soul. That way it looks like, oh, wow, you guys must talk. No.
Yeah, no.
Okay.
It's like trying to tell them about Cheers.
So good.
Do you want to do the trans lesbian question now?
Here's the problem with the trans lesbian question. It's just very long.
Well, it's not that long. It's shorter than the one we just did.
I also take umbrage with her describing a clitoris as Satan's doorbell.
I think she meant the prostate. Well, I'm going to Google this. What?
Because I thought it was Satan's a butthole. She's saying Satan's doorbell like we all know this term.
It's a slang term often used euphemistically for the clitoris. Yeah.
Shouldn't be. Why?
Erotic literature.
It should be God's doorbell.
Now we have to ask the question so that they know what we're talking about.
All right. Go ahead.
Okay. Howdy. I am a 41-year-old trans lesbian married to a 46-year-old bisexual woman.
So first of all, okay. So for anyone listening, so a trans lesbian means that you were born a man, you became a woman, but you're attracted to women.
Correct. Yes.
Which means you want to have sex with women because you see yourself as a woman.
Yes.
And you want to have lady parts.
Yeah. We've been together just over 20 years.
Sorry, she's with a lesbian, obviously.
A bisexual woman.
A bisexual woman.
So, Kind of ironically, we are also in couples therapy, not because we have any major issues, but just because we wanted to do some routine maintenance on the relationship and tighten up our communication so we're good for the next 20 years. Smart, yes. I had bottom surgery in late 2017. The surgery was botched, and I cannot have penetrative sex. But fortunately, Satan's doorbell mostly rings just fine. So we have now Googled, it is a clitoris, and there is a book on Amazon called The Devil's Doorbell, an erotic anthology.
By the way, just me reading it thinking you're talking about an asshole, but okay.
Don't worry. My
butthole still works.
Fine. Like,
my mouth and butthole still work. All right, go ahead.
Okay, so that works. She has no problem giving my clitoris some good hand action or grabbing a vibrator. I know. I knew you. That's why you wouldn't want to do this one. Let's just get through it together.
Okay, to get through. All right, I'll make eye contact.
Grabbing a vibrator, but she has never post-operatively given me oral sex. I generally go down on her every single time we're getting frisky because foreplay should be done right. Since my lady bits weren't factory equipment and I went through hell to get them, I want to experience every type of pleasure I can, and her lack of oral reciprocation kind of hurts my feelings. I am well aware that the basic answer here is to sit down and have a serious conversation about it using all the fancy skills our therapist is helping us develop. My problem is how to bring it up and how to phrase it. I never want to hurt her feelings or make her feel like she's doing something wrong. I especially never want to pressure her into something she doesn't want to do, and I'm afraid that would be her takeaway from the conversation. I haven't tried bringing it up in therapy because I'm afraid she would be hella embarrassed, so I'm kind of at a loss as to how to have the conversation.
I mean, all I keep thinking is like, not all gay guys have anal sex. Like, not just because you're a lesbian. I mean, even though there's that Sex in the City where it's like, if you don't go down, then you're not down. I did look at some of the comments, or maybe they do.
Do you want me to read some of the comments?
No, it's my turn to read.
Okay.
Not your show. It's my show.
Okay, go for it.
Somebody said, because I didn't think about this, but somebody said, this is a hard discussion. Does she enjoy going down on you? Did she enjoy going down on you before the surgery? And I think and the answer is almost no woman loves giving a blowjob. Even though it's like, oh my God, I love it. They're like, not 20 years later. No. All right. And please don't at me. Not to get too personal, how do you mean by botched? If I'm allowed to ask, and I don't think that person's going to respond. Doesn't matter. The point is,
the person did respond. So the response is the partner did hate giving blowjobs. Yes.
Oh, she hated giving blowjobs. As for botched, the vagina collapsed post-op and is basically gone. That's rough. So basically, you're just wanting her to like go down there and lick. Because she can't like go inside you or anything. And to that person's insightful question, if she hated doing it before, some people just don't like doing it. But also, I do think it's worth it. If this is your soulmate, this is your partner of 20 years. My first thought when I read it was like, typical woman expecting the partner to read her mind and know what she wants. That is what it is. You have to actually, it's unsexy to be like, here's what I want you to do. It sucks because that takes like the fun out of it.
Yeah.
She might be reticent because it's weird, or she doesn't know what she's doing, or she doesn't want to. But even if you asked her and she was like, I just don't like doing it. I've never been into going down on women. Is that okay? Or are you insecure and you think it's because of the way it looks?
Because our question asker, it seems like they have a really wonderful relationship. Because our question asker phrased it very much like, now that I've had this surgery, I've done the whole thing, I want to experience everything as a woman. Is there a chance where you go, look, I just want to try this one time if you're into it. If you're not, fine. But in my mind, it's a bucket list thing. Can we check it off and see?
I think that's fair. And I also think it's fair if that person doesn't want to.
Yes, like, totally.
But I think they're really like that was your body and your choice, and that's her body and her choice, and she may not want to. Now, being a woman, you often have to do sexual things that you do not want to do, but at least getting it out in the open. So at least to hear her be like, if she sees how much it means to you, like, okay, I'll do this once, or I just don't want to do it, or I'm weirded out by it. Like, at least you can get to a place where you're being honest versus tiptoeing around it, because that just creates so much anxiety around something that should be sexual and fun and freeing. So I hear that you're in therapy. I mean, you're saying like, look, I've got this thing. Why don't you want it? Aren't you bi? And she's just like, I'm not into that one. I guess the question is does she go down? Has she gone down on women before? You're trying to suss out, is it me or is it her?
Right.
And it sounds like you got to come to Jesus around that Satan's doorbell. And you have to have a very frank adult conversation. And it has to be, her answer has to be okay.
Yes.
I just think when it comes to the trans community, which I am not a part of, there is so much vitriol spewed at trans people. And weirdly, what kind of comes out is like, no matter what you are as trans, like it has to be right. Like people getting mad that someone doesn't say they're trans on their dating profile. It's like, why are you transphobic? No, that person has a right to not make out with you and find out that you were a man. Like, you don't have to be transphobic to not want to. I mean, I'm straight and I still don't want to touch a dick. That doesn't make me straight phobic. Everybody's allowed to have their predilections and their preferences and everything. And it has to be okay, whatever her answer is, even if it hurts.
I will just flag that it sounds like you're in a general couples therapy. There are also sex therapists, and maybe it's something, if you still don't feel confident starting this conversation with your partner, maybe it's going to sex therapy for yourself and understanding your relationship with your body and why you want this and how you can approach her in a way that doesn't feel pressured. But it already sounds like you're such a thoughtful person that I doubt she's going to feel like she has to do anything, or you wouldn't be asking this question.
Or you could say, and she's like, oh my God, of course I'll do that. I didn't realize, like, it just sounds like there's a lot of unspoken things here. But Emily's right. Like, a sex therapist is not the same as a regular BetterHelp therapist.
I was also reading not about sex therapy, but about like non-binary spaces. Now there's this issue where when people say an event is open to women and non-binary, what they have come to mean by that is what they are calling diet women, which is only women who kind of have pixie cuts and present as tomboys, right? That's the non-binary that is acceptable. But when masculine presenting non-binary people come in,
why are you pointing at yourself?
They get mad. I'm
You're like, I'm in a tan hat.
Present.
You pointing at yourself.
Hat. That's both hands are cupped.
I was ready to cup any non-binary woman.
Because I'm like, when I was reading this thing, so there is so much discrimination amongst in communities. And maybe your wife is just like, I thought after your botched surgery, you didn't want me messing with things too much.
You don't know, because nobody in any of these discussions anywhere is having a frank discussion and holding space for someone else's genuine opinion. So, I mean, look, you are coming to a very straight woman who is married to a man. But you're given, we are big sister.
We are big sister.
What these things, regardless of who you are or your background, always come down to is like saying what is honestly in your heart and being okay with the other person saying something, even if it's hurtful. At least it's the truth and you don't have to deal with all this. You still listen to this podcast, but at least you can start to build from there.
And then, let's go to cobs, because this same person shared a cob that scientifically, I was like, oh.
It's the talk with a cob. We're doing it right every day. You just take a bite, top of the cob.
Let's hear it, because I know that. Because
they shared my top of the cob, the extended bliss of the female orgasm compared to the 5-second bullshit men get. Suck it, patriarchy. That feels like science has come far, right?
Is that true? Because I read that and I was like, is it different now? You get like a dolphin orgasm? You get like a pig? You get like a 30-minute pig orgasm?
So then I'm thinking, like, is that because of hormones? Is that because of surgery? Is that because of, like, wow, good job, science.
I'll tell you what, speaking of masculine presenting non-binary, my top of the cob is doing a propane tank exchange.
Oh, you brought it to the Ace Hardware or whatever?
I brought it and they were out and I was like, I bet we can find it. My voice is like dropping as I'm saying it. I bet we can find it at a gas station. And we did. And there's just something that feels very summer and like you're doing chores, and I brought my tank in. I was like, I need to exchange it. And I'd done it once before, and you feel like, yeah, I'm just going to grab a big gulp and then go load up the truck. I just like doing the exchange, all the while knowing that if I threw this propane too hard, it could explode.
I know. That's what scares me, is it rattling around in the car even.
But we need to grill that steak. Anyways, we have it like secured. My propane exchange. And Noah was like, I can carry it. I was like, I can carry it. And the lady is like this little Filipino lady. She was like, oh, you're so strong. And I was like, I do Pilates.
That's a good day.
It was good.
For a stranger to tell you you're strong.
I was wearing slides and socks and shorts. It felt very summer.
Okay, my top of the cob is, I feel like I had all my go-to spots when I lived in Burbank, and here I don't really have like my restaurants that I like to get takeout from, but I have a taco place that I like now called like Rusty's Tacos, and they do a grilled fish taco that is very good, and they have Mexican Coke, and I like it. And I'm happy to have that. And I'm going to eat that later, I think, depending on how our recording schedule goes.
A little treat. My bottom of the cob is when you have on a full face of makeup, and most of my clothes are pretty tiny, and I put on a sweatshirt and the head is too small and it mushes down my makeup for a split second. It doesn't really mess it up, but just like, oh, fuck, I'm perfect. And then you get like a little bit of mascara and you're like just having it go over your makeup when you thought it wouldn't is always such a bummer.
Mushing in. Fan bottom. The phrase busy mom is redundant. If you're a mom, you're busy. Since we're all so busy, let's save time and remove that word from our descriptions.
That's funny.
Let's save time.
Yeah, it is implied that you're busy if you're a mom. I like that.
Yeah. My bottom is a sad tale, Iliza. Yesterday, I've had a hard couple of weeks. Things have been stressful.
I thought they were great. I thought that guy got fired.
Things are...
Oh, he's back.
No, things are happening. But it's okay. But I was like, I got an alert on my phone from Domino's. Stuffed crust pizza is now a thing. And I said, I'm going to get one. I ordered it.
Ew.
I ordered a stuffed crust pizza. Okay. I ate a slice and then I put the box down on my kitchen counter, closed. And I went to play video games like it was the 90s. I went back to my pizza later, Iliza. And this is when I found out I had an unknown ant infestation. At my kitchen counter, and they had covered the pizza and they were in a line, and I saw them coming and I had to throw out the whole pizza and then put ant traps, and the ants were everywhere.
That's so horrifying because for a second you're like, is that? Oh, it's all moving. And
So
that
I
little
opened
line
the pizza.
they make.
I was like, wait, where are these? Because I'm looking around like, this is so many ants. Oh my God, what's that? And then I look and I see the line coming from the window over the kitchen sink, which of course is where, you know what I mean? And I'm
Tracking
just
it,
like,
and you realize how far they came.
how far they
immigrated
came.
to your
They're
house.
everywhere. And I'm just like, no. And I had to throw out a whole pizza.
You had to throw out
And mushroom.
$3 worth of ingredients.
It was stuffed crust with mushroom on top.
There's that. You know what the problem with stuffed crust is? The cheese is never melted enough in the crust.
I like the texture. It's like a little lump in there. It's like a Play-Doh.
Oh my God, I hate you so much. What, did you at least throw? See, I would throw the pizza away from my house. That way they'd all go that way.
I put the pizza outside. I put it in a bag. I put it outside. And then I didn't have traps. I had diatomaceous earth.
Yes,
so I
we
sprayed
use that
all over the area. Then the cats played in it like it was snow and made snow angels. And then I put one good trap in an area they can't reach.
Noah has, it might just be vinegar, but he has a little recipe for anticide because we have ants that come every summer and attack our house, like without fail. I'll get you the recipe.
Thank you. I
No
lost
ants
the
for
pizza
me.
to the ants.
I'm sorry, because I'll be in Nantucket. I'd be interested to know, I mean, obviously it's different tribes, but Tucket, because when I used to play Foxwoods, it's in Mashantucket, and I just wonder what the suffix and
Tucket
maybe
means.
Algonquin or something, or like one of the tribes that's up there, what the Tucket is. So if anyone knows, I guess I could Google it right now, actually. I could ask Claude.
Google is just telling me about Tucker, even though I typed Tucket. It's like, you meant Tucker.
Okay. Well, thanks so much. You're like, and that's Emily's AI. Like I tried.
Oh, wait. Oh, no, this isn't helpful.
I'll just look it up.
Okay. Well, everyone look it up yourselves.
No, I'm doing it right now.
Oh, you're doing it. Okay.
Well, you say, what does Nantucket mean? Nantucket adopt. Oh, it was Algonquin. I was right. Name for the island. I don't know. It just says, how did it get its name? Here we go. Nantucket name comes from the Wampanoag language, likely meaning faraway land. So now I'm going to ask, what? I bet you Tucket is land.
Is Tucket land?
Here it is. What does Mashantucket mean? These kind of things keep me up at night. Land. Mashantucket refers to the much wooded land. It's the Pequot tribe, which we know because we played Foxwoods, because I stay in Pequot Tower. Tucket, I'm pretty sure means land. Pawtucket.
Right.
Pawtucket.
That's in Family Guy.
Family Guy. And here's Algonquin. All right.
The
Well, that thus
Pawtucket
concludes
Brewery.
our Native American history lesson. as doled out by two white women who are capable of giving advice. And I will see you all next week when we'll be gearing up for 4th of July.
Yay.
May let freedom ring.